Hi everyone, I'm Tanaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of May 1st. So on April 30th, we had that solar new moon eclipse falling in the sign of Taurus. We are now in between eclipses. We are deep into the eclipse portal. The next eclipse will be on May 15th, and that will be a blood moon eclipse in the sign of Scorpio. What is a blood moon eclipse? I'll talk more about it as we get closer to it, but essentially a blood moon is when we have a total lunar eclipse, and when that totality of the eclipse is reached, the moon gets a little reddish hue to it. So it is called a blood moon. Blood moons are the most potent type of lunar eclipse that we can have. So this will definitely be a powerful cosmic event in the month of May. But right now we are between eclipses, walking that very highly sensitive time as we move through this eclipse portal. So we will be feeling that. Eclipses always bring change and transformation. Some cycle of death and rebirth is being activated for all of us right now, where we are closing one chapter and starting a new one. And actually, as I was looking at the energy for May, regardless of the eclipses, because eclipses are always kind of transformative times of change, regardless of that, the other events happening in May, the cosmic energies that are happening astrologically and what I'm feeling in on an intuitive level, May just holds a lot of transformation energy. It really holds the energy of metamorphosis. So this will be a theme that we will be feeling all through the month with every cosmic alignment, with everything that I've tuned in to see. The end result kind of always led back to this idea of metamorphosis, of change, of transformation. So I really think this is going to be a strong theme for all of us. And I'm sure when we look back on this period of time, in the year, we'll be able to see how we closed one chapter, started a new one, big, deep, really heartfelt changes taking place right now. In fact, even in the cosmic skies, when I was looking at the charts for May, pretty much all the planets are either in the last few signs of the zodiac or the first few signs of the zodiac. Again, this theme of endings and beginnings, one chapter closing, another one opening for us. So that is what we're moving through. This energy will linger all the way until the end of May, but we are in the sort of heart of it right now. When we're in the heart of things, it can sometimes be difficult to see. It can be difficult to see the end result or to really understand it, but just trust. Keep yourself grounded as we move through this highly sensitive time. And whenever we have a lot of changing, transforming energies, one of the things that we can do to sort of help is really just to keep ourselves grounded, to keep ourselves in a state of balance. One thing that I find very grounding is just working with your breath, taking some deep breaths, allowing your belly to fill with air, feeling that breath going all the way down to your feet, and then releasing, letting it go, imagining a weight being lifted off your shoulders as you exhale. So really trying to just pay attention to your energy levels, to looking after yourself with all of this changing, transforming energy. You will see it in your life, and you'll probably notice it in the world around you as well, and in the people close to you. A lot of change, a lot of growth, a lot of moving forward. Eclipses, I think I've mentioned this before, but eclipses activate our soul contract and put us where we need to be for the highest evolution of our soul. I want to preface that because sometimes we land up in a place and we're like, this is not where I'm meant to be. This is not what my soul contract says. We can be in a little bit of a denial. It's really hard to understand our soul contract from the place of our rational, human, limited mind. We kind of have to expand. We have to go beyond the limitations of our human mind and look in really deep into the soul meaning. And that's something that I can tell you, but you sort of have to experience it and journey for yourself. So if you find yourself saying, this can't possibly be part of my soul contract, it's not fair, I'm a good person, this should be happening to me. When you're saying that kind of stuff, obviously something very hard and challenging is going on in your life, and it can be very, very difficult from that frame of mind to understand our soul contract. And I'm not saying that that frame of mind is wrong, because sometimes it really feels that way. When my sister passed away, oh my God, those were the only thoughts I was having. It's not fair. I'm a good person. She was a good person. How could this happen? You know, all of those things. But on a and I think my human mind needed that, and I think we need to honor our human selves. That's what we're here for. But on a deeper level, there was a higher truth, and that higher truth can be hard to see, but it's always there, and it takes a bit of a spiritual journey to get there. So just kind of reminding you there to honor your human side, but to know that there is a spiritual, deeper, higher meaning to things that we can also grasp, and both of them kind of have to exist together, and we have to kind of acknowledge and honor both. So if something difficult has come up for you, keep that in mind. So that is the eclipse energy, but I also quickly want to share that on May 10th, we have Mercury going retrograde. Mercury will be going retrograde in the eclipse portal in between this time of in between these two eclipses, that solar eclipse that we just had on April 30th and this upcoming blood moon eclipse on May 15th. In between eclipses is a very sensitive time. Our energy is definitely more receptive. We are more intuitive. We are more psychic. And actually, before I go into Mercury retrograde, or it kind of ties in, but a couple of people have been asking me on Instagram and on social media, is this a good time to launch things? We have this solar eclipse, it's a new moon. Should I be launching things, or should I hold off because Mercury? No, I would say it is an okay time to launch things if you feel compelled, if the stars are aligned, if you feel like it's aligned and you want to put something out there. Go for it. Don't worry about Mercury. Eclipses are so powerful. They put us where we need to be. Put your ideas out there. See what happens. If the idea is meant to take off, if it's meant to flourish, it will really flourish under a solar eclipse. So don't hesitate just because we have this upcoming Mercury retrograde. The reason that I bring it up and the reason that I want you to be aware of it is that as Mercury slows down, we are going to feel a little bit of this heavier, stickier energy that May holds. So when I was looking into the energy for May, it felt a little bit thick. It felt like I was sort of wading through honey. It was like thick and a bit slow, a little bit like sticky. That is a sort of energy that May has for us a little bit. Just because there's so much happening and there's so much transformative energy moving through the month, it feels like the energy felt a little bit thick. So we could start to feel that sort of thick energy starting to flow in, that sort of like, I am wading through honey. So this is sort of how I feel like it will manifest for most of us. I think the eclipse, the solar eclipse is an accelerator. It will speed things up. It will accelerate events that needed to take place for the highest evolution of our soul. We might find ourselves wanting to start a new chapter, closing the door, making changes. Something could come our way, some sort of opportunity that's just too good to pass up. That eclipse was really activating that. And then this opportunity's come, this change has been made, this door has been closed, this door has been opened, whatever it is. Then we kind of get into this Mercury retrograde energy where things slow down. So the eclipse would have been fast, it would have been accelerated, and now things are going to start slowing down. We won't feel that same momentum. It might even be welcomed. It might give us an opportunity to catch our breath, to integrate any changes that have taken place under this eclipse, whether they're physical changes or spiritual changes or both. Eclipses can also activate parts of our soul, reawaken parts of our soul that are needed for this next chapter moving forward. So we might find that, and now with Mercury slowing down, that we too begin to slow down, and we too are called to reflect and to sort of go over the things that have happened. So that is sort of the energy shift that we will be feeling as we move from this week into next week. Things might move quickly and then they might slow. They might even stagnate a little bit. They might just sort of get really sluggish as we get deeper into that retrograde energy. But things are still moving. Even if it doesn't feel like they are, things are still moving. It's kind of like a rush, rush, wait type energy going through the cosmic skies this week. So pay attention to that. Keep yourself grounded, keep yourself, in balance with, the energies and with whatever's going on in your life. What if it's dramatic or quiet or peaceful, try to make time for reflection, especially, excuse me, I've got something in my eye, especially as we get to the end of the week where we're really starting to feel that retrograde energy peak. So Mercury retrograde happens on May 10th. It takes place in Gemini. Mercury will start its retrograde in Gemini, and then it will make its way back into Taurus. So the reason I mention that is because Mercury retrograde in Gemini is usually one of the more potent retrogrades we can have, because Mercury is Gemini's ruling planet. And I just want to remind you, retrogrades are not bad. They're just a different expression of energy. It's more reflective, it's more internal, it's a time to go within. Things from our subconscious, things from the shadows can come up to be revealed, to be looked at, to be addressed. And that is why Mercury retrograde can sometimes be a little bit challenging for people, because Mercury is the messenger of the gods. And I take that to mean the messenger of our higher self. And so when Mercury goes retrograde, so into a more reflective state, it's digging up those messages that perhaps we didn't want to really look at. But now we're forced to look at them. Now we're forced to confront them. Now we're forced to come face to face with them. And that is why a Mercury retrograde can be so powerful, particularly during an eclipse time, eclipse portal. Mercury retrograde can actually also make us more intuitive and more psychic. So can eclipses. So a lot of that energy filtering through too. So look after yourselves. Keep your spiritual practice up, work with crystals, work with Mother Nature, do whatever you need to do to feel in balance and aligned. All right, I hope that's helpful. If you want more, check out foreverconscious.com. I have your full forecast for May. And next week, I'm going to talk about Jupiter in Aries. That is another big cosmic event that's happening. But if you want to get a head start, go to foreverconscious.com, because I have the forecast already up on the site for you. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much.